No, that's you. That's you, Hoga.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 49 of Profit Talk. Tonight we're talking more about, using eBay if you've lost your job or your hours got cut or whatever, but this is more starting an eBay store from scratch, like with the intention of it being a business. Yeah. God bless it. That was me. That is me. But I can't get to the window that it's on.
It's not me.
It was me. I even thought about it too. And I was like, oh, I need to check and make sure that's.
Look, I have headphones on. It's not me. Oh, it's still echoing.
What?
Check. Okay, now it's gone.
That's weird. Echoing?
Okay, sorry.
Oh, before I forget. Okay, so I will not be here for the next 2 Mondays. I might be here for the Monday, not next Monday, but the next Monday, but I'm not going to guarantee it. So we're just going to say no show. So that next week will be our 50th episode, and that's when we're going to do the giveaways and all that good stuff. So don't think that I forgot about it. Just I'm not going to be here. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you lost your job, all that good stuff, and you decide I'm gonna sell on eBay for my career now. What? And I'm gonna put the stipulation that you're not going to look for a job. You refuse to get another job, which I think would be the smartest thing to do personally. But I'm gonna put that stipulation on there.
Because you're tired of working for the man.
Right, but you didn't know you were getting fired, so you have no savings. You have nothing to fall back on, really. So how would you go about starting to sell on eBay with the express intention of it being your livelihood, being a business from the get-go?
Find something.
I mean, yeah, deliver pizzas. We got a steak delivery place here that will give you immediate kind of income. I mean, first and foremost,
I caught flack for saying, for us saying you need to get some kind of job.
Why did you catch flack for that? I mean, I'm not saying go and find another career, but
it's not flack.
Okay, so here's the reality: you're probably not going to be able to start doing eBay tomorrow, and then by the end of the first month have all your bills covered, unless you just have no bills.
Unless, and you're watching this now, anybody that's watching this now that's in the position of they have a job and they're already selling on eBay a little bit, they have an advantage over anybody else because they probably work past that 15 item listing limit. You know what I mean, Paul?
So that's a good point.
Because if somebody's watching this, like let's say right now, 2 months from now, today is April the 18th, and they're like, oh, I just lost my job, I want to figure out how to get into doing eBay, and you've never done it before, then you're kind of gonna have some catching up to do.
Right.
Sue asked, is this someone who hasn't sold anything on eBay or Amazon yet? So I'm going to say yes.
They've
never sold on eBay or Amazon. My thought, Sue or Maureen just said check Craigslist for free piles. My thought was to kind of try to get yourself past that, while you're waiting to get past that hump, to sell things on Craigslist locally if you can, you know what I mean, to kind of buffer it. But the thing where you don't have the listing restriction if you immediately open a store, but you still get your money held, right?
You will still have a listing restriction.
No, remember, there was somebody in the audience last week. She opened a store when she opened her eBay account, and it was the listings that she had. The money was still held like it is.
Are they still doing that, like 3 days after tracking shows delivered, or until the person leaves feedback, whichever one comes first? I know they did that for a long time. I don't know if they're still doing that or not, but I mean, I think the biggest thing for anybody watching this right now that says, hey, I'm miserable with my job, it may end, it looks like we may maybe gonna be downsizing, list everything you can, get your limits raised, get those restrictions raised just in case. It's not a bad idea anyhow, and you may find you love it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would not. When I lost my job, I did not go out and get another job because I had already built eBay up to the point where I was making decent money. You know, I mean, while I was still working a full-time job, I had really big months. You know, like I had a couple of weeks where I did like $3 grand in a week while I was working a regular job. You know, I mean, it was. But I mean, it's just been off and on for. I've had my eBay account since '99, I think. So I mean, I've been selling on it since I don't know 2001 or 2002. So I mean, I've slowly built it up. How somebody would just decide that they wanted to start doing eBay as a business tomorrow and they had never done anything like this before? God, don't even try it. Go get a job. Go find something. But I mean, I was in a position where I would have had to take a pay cut if I would have gotten another job, and it would have been a lot of work, spending a lot of hours, like getting back to where I was. When I first started my job, I was working 16, 18-hour days, you know, and I was making 20, 25 grand a year. And over 10 years, I got to the point where I was able to, you know, kind of set my own hours, do what, spend less time working, all that stuff, and focus more on just side projects and hobbies. And eBay became kind of a hobby that started to make serious money over like a year of doing it. And then I lost my job. It's like, oh, well, now I'm, you know, selling 3, 4, 5 grand a month on eBay, and I mean, I'm really not putting any money into the business. You know, I mean, I still don't. I buy stuff for a couple bucks and sell it for 20. You know, that's my whole business model. I mean, there's stuff that I buy for $10 that I'll sell for $20. You know, I mean, if I find Minecraft for, you know, $8, I'll pay $8 for this because when I put it up on Amazon for 15, it'll sell immediately. You know, but I mean, that's just the experience. Just doing it for so long, I know what will sell really fast and what I can spend more money on. But for the most part, yeah, like Danica was saying, or what Maureen was saying, the free pile stuff, it's good, but if you do too much of that when you're starting out, you become a hoarder very, very quickly. So that's
what kinds of things would you tell somebody starting to look for? I mean,
what
I know
you
a lot
know.
of where they live.
What is a sure sell that shows completed and sold active, and that depending on your money situation, I mean, what's an easy barrier to entry? You know, if you don't have a whole lot of money and you can buy DVDs for $0.25 and you can flip them for $7 free shipping or whatever, I mean, you're still gonna make $5 a pop, give or take. You know, that can add up if you don't mind sitting and listing 80 DVDs a day.
Yeah, but you do have to do that. I mean,
I think it depends on drive and motivation. Like, I lost my job. Oh crap! Like, how motivated are you? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, and you, like Chad. You know, Chad will sit there and he doesn't really. I don't think he lists as much, right? But he knows exactly what sells, and he knows what. When he buys something for $10 and he knows it'll sell for 200, it's gonna sell for $200 and it's gonna sell fast. You know, and if you are that guy and you are that like good at a niche, then you don't have to list 100 items a day or 100 items a week. I try and do 10 items a week on average, or 10 items a day on average. You know, by the end of the week, I wanna blow through my free listings for the month within the first week, and then like when another free listing offer comes up, then I'll just hammer it while that offer is up, and then meanwhile it's just constantly trying to get as many listings up a day as possible. But there are people that are a lot better at it than I am. I mean, talk to guys like John Chartier. You know, he's got everything automated now and drop ships all of his flags and all that stuff. So I mean, he can just copy and paste and have 100 new listings up in 5 minutes. But I mean, if you're doing one listing a day, the better that you know the product, then the easier it is, the less research you have to do. I mean, if I find a pair of True Religion jeans and I'm trying to figure out exactly what like model it is or whatever, because the tag's too faded to read, then there are times where I'll sit there and research for an hour trying to figure out exactly what I'm looking at, just so that I can try and squeeze an extra $30 out of it.
But if you talk to like John Chartier, if you remember, Lo, and I'm not at all argumentative. Like, I agree, he's got a great, good business model that works for him now. But remember, he started out buying jeans for $1 and selling every pair for like, what was it, $9.99, and he just made up for it with quantity.
Yeah, $9.99.
Everything he did was $9.99.
$9.99 plus shipping.
Yeah, so everything. Sorry, I'm trying to read like 3 things at one time. So that, that for him was like a good model because he hired his mom and trained his mom to do it. And, if you're one of those people that can sit there and literally just churn out listings, yeah, you could lose your job tomorrow if your account was opened up enough, where you didn't have restrictions. You could, just start, but you got to be good at it. Don't overthink the listings. And I see a lot of people doing that. Somebody this week said, they use Turbo Lister. And I'm like, no, I don't use Turbo Lister. Well, I don't understand how you have that many items in your store. And it's like, I use Sell Similar. I find one that's sold, I click Sell Similar, I copy their title. If I like it, I leave it alone. I double check their item specifics. I throw in a generic blurb. I don't write an entire freaking paragraph and a half about how these are the most gorgeous blue jeans ever, will look great on your backside, whatever. No, you put measurements. If it's a DVD, you have a cut and paste in a Word document that says, an original case with original artwork and disc is scratch-free. Boom, done, on to the next listing.
Yeah.
Well, remember, you were yelling at me for it because I was spending too much time on my description.
I wasn't yelling at you, but we were in a hangout it's been a while back. We were in a hangout that day, and I'm like, you're overthinking it. You're like, I know I can't let it go. And I was like, but you have to, or you'll be stuck at, like, I listed 4 items today.
Well, like I was saying before about the jeans, I found one pair of True Religion jeans that weren't like $50 or whatever at the thrift store in a couple of years, and that was like one of those things that kind of sticks out to me. And so when I went to list them and I ended up spending 2 hours to try and squeeze as much as I possibly could out of them, I got what I wanted, but if I would have spent less time researching them and trying to figure out exactly what they were, it's Danica, and just focused on just getting a listing up really quick and setting a price that was at a level where the person getting it would be happy, and they would be able to, like, somebody who knows what they're getting, they can look at the picture, they're fine with it, and it's a little bit less, it's a good deal for them, so they would buy it. Sometimes it's worth it to do less research and not try to get top dollar for something that you aren't an expert on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That way you can just get more listings done. If I'm doing, I don't know.
I don't have any earbuds in here. He said it has to, Chad said it has to be me because I don't hear it, but the only headset I have in here is my gaming headset.
Try to put that on. How loud is your speaker volume right now? Like, extremely loud? Like, if I was 15 feet away from your computer, I could hear it great? Because that's what mine does. Just turn the volume down your speakers.
4. Mine's only at 4.
Oh, no, then.
Oh, it's totally you. But it's okay. It's not that bad.
Well,
Paul,
Sue said she doesn't hear one.
I've got earbuds
nobody
in.
else hears one.
Oh, it's Paul. Y'all blame it on me every week. I'm going to blame it on Paul this week.
I have earbuds
in.
I don't care. It's still you.
I'm suffering through this hangout with earbuds in. You guys are blaming it on me.
That's okay. I'm wearing, like, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence headset or whatever.
Well, that's why I'm not putting mine on, because mine...
I'm waiting for my...
That's my gaming headset. I'm not wearing that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my Studio Beats cord to get here because I just picked up a pair. No, I found a pair. They were like $300 headphones, but the cord was an aftermarket cord and it was too big to fit in the hole. and I knew it immediately because I could tell. You could see the little piece there. I was at a pawn shop like a few days ago. They were like, "Oh, well, I guess they don't work." I'm like, "Well, how cheap can you sell them for?" They had them listed for like $150, and I was like, "I'll give you like $40 for them." They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Here, and then I got them home, and I jammed it in there really good, and I barely got it to work. So I was like, "No, all right, I'm just ordering a new official one, like an official cable." But yeah,
I am jealous.
that was one of my. Well, I find Beats all the time. They're
Not for $40.
yeah, for $40. I've
Beats scare me though, because I wouldn't know the difference between a fake and a real.
They're so easy. There's a little serial number here. I'm gonna go grab this pair.
But what if it's a fake?
I'll be right back. I gotta take my earbuds out so I can't hear you.
They don't put
I'm
serial
sorry,
numbers
Paul.
on.
We can't hear you. You're echoing without your earbuds in. They don't put serial numbers on the
cocking
fake
your
ones?
gun earlier?
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah, you were pulling it back.
So while he's gone, we'll have gun talk. I'm actually gonna buy another gun this week. I'm really thinking 38 special.
Wait, no. Oh, you can't buy one when you come up.
I can't do a handgun in Tennessee.
Right.
No, because
What are you gonna get?
Probably a 38 special.
Hey, tell Tristan she has to remember to get our props.
What are your props? I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
John's a little scared of what's gonna happen.
Oh, she came into my room the other day and she goes, "Do you know where I can get dead taxidermy stuff?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And she goes, "Like, whatever." And I said, "Well, we had a mallard in the living room until you gave it away to Windsor's ex-boyfriend." And she's like, "No, I mean, like, you know, we need like a rabbit or a whatever." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Tristan, you're here. You have to remember to get them. You have to remember to get those so that we can do our stuff.
So
Oh, she said you don't
were
get
right
anything
behind.
else until she gets an AK.
I'm not buying her an AK.
What? Tristan, wait. When you guys come up, if you shoot my AR, then maybe he would be more apt to get
Okay, I got the last new gun. Okay, that was a shotgun. That doesn't count.
Thrifty, do you live near Tennessee or Alabama? Where does Thrifty Treasures live?
Thrifty, I think she's in Texas. I think she's down with everybody else around Austin, maybe. We'll find out if I'm right or wrong.
Oh, you're too far away. Where does everybody live?
Colorado.
Well, I know that, dumbass.
All right, so Dre Beats. A few things to look at. First of all, bright, clean lines on the label. Look at if it has the carrying case. The zipper is super high quality. Like, it almost looks like it's flush when it's closed, and it opens very nicely.
Is it always red?
No. They're always different colors. I mean, it's whatever color the headphones are typically, but where are you? Oh, yeah. So see the little serial number?
Right, where's the serial number?
It's underneath, right there on this, like underneath the little plastic piece, right behind the...
So between the plastic and the ear cup. Oh,
No.
gotcha.
There it
I
is.
see
Can you
it.
see it now?
Yep.
Yeah, so there's the serial number. You can actually go and look it up, and then it'll tell you exactly what version or whatever they are. And I mean, a lot of times if it's fake, they'll just put a bullcrap serial number up there, and then it won't match. But yeah. And the way you can tell the difference when you're looking at studios, if it says studio on both sides, then they're wired. If it says wireless on one side, then they're Bluetooth. But
I think she should be able to have a sawed-off. I'll give her that one.
A sawed-off what?
Shotgun.
I've got a sawed off. I did it with the legal shortest barrel, the one I bought in Tennessee.
You do. She doesn't. She needs a 20 gauge like mine.
She can have it. I took that
That's
Walmart
stupid.
shotgun that I bought when we were up there
See?
in Tennessee that had 28-inch barrel, and I bought an 18.5, which is the shortest you can legally have in most states. And I took the butt stock off of it and put a pistol grip with a tactical stock. I mean, I don't know how else to modify it to make it any more like zombie killer, but I mean, I can't legally saw it off any shorter than that.
Sawed-offs don't have any accuracy.
No, but they're good if you're like,
No, we didn't.
if you're
we
gonna do
didn't
like
want
2 feet away.
No,
Tristan,
the only
we
way
didn't
that you
want
can
compound
saw.
bows, we wanted crossbows.
All you have to do is buy it. I think it's like $300 for a tax stamp from the U.S. government, and they'll just make it. You can get a sawed-off barrel for your shotgun. If you're that hard up and you need to get a sawed-off barrel, you can still manufacture short-barreled shotguns and silencers and stuff like that. It's the fully automatic machine guns that you have to buy. You have to buy the ones that were manufactured before like 1992 or something like that.
You know the really sad thing, Paul, is I paid $200 and something at Walmart in Tennessee for a Mossberg Maverick shotgun, and when we were up there visiting them, and came back home, took the stock parts off, bought the tactical parts that I wanted, sold the stock parts as like has only quote unquote has only had 18 rounds fired through it or whatever. And
All original.
And got more for the stock parts than the tactical. So for me to make this into a tactical rifle, I actually made money.
It was a tactical shotgun. But yeah, you make.
I mean, tactical shotgun, rather. Yeah, sorry.
Well, my thing, like the last time I had a shotgun, I bought all the tactical crap and the short barrel and all that stuff, and put all that stuff on, and then went and shot it, and then put the stock parts back together, and decided I liked it better stock.
That's too late now because I already sold all the parts.
I know.
What do you have to do to be able to sell guns?
You need an FFL. I mean, it depends on your state. Like me, I can sell as it would catch up to you eventually. But I mean, technically, in Colorado, if you don't have a license to sell guns, all you have to do to sell a personal firearm is make sure that the other person is a Colorado resident, and as long as they have a valid ID, that's good enough. I mean, you have no.
What if you want to do it like make money doing it?
To get an FFL,
you
I
gotta get an
actually looked
FFL.
into it. It's not terribly complicated. It's on the expensive side, but it's really not that bad because I looked at doing it. But it's kind of
You got to keep
pointless.
really
it's
good
kind of
records.
pointless if you're doing it for personal because they kind of made the law a little bit to where you can't really just do it for personal to try to get around the other laws. It's kind of you've got to show other. It's kind of like if you want to get a car dealer's license. I know in Alabama you actually have to have a place of business, whatever. You can't just go and apply for one because you want to buy and sell lots of cars. You know, what I mean, you got to show that you have some proof that you're kind of an established business. It's kind of similar to that.
Oh, so it's a pain in the butt.
You can get a CNR FFL that's really easy and really cheap, but it makes it a lot harder. If you have lax restrictions on selling guns in your state, then if you have a CNR, then you'll get in more trouble if there's an issue with a transaction that you're involved with. But yeah, the CNR is pretty cool because there are a lot of, like, I can't remember what the rules are. I had a CNR like 10 years ago. And
CNR
it was
only for collectors though, right?
No, I mean anybody can get a CNR, anybody. And then there's like all these different firearms that fall into the CNR category, and then you can just have them shipped directly to your house. You know, like Mosins and SKSs and like a lot of handguns. There are actually rifles that you can have shipped to your front door, like a 1895 308. The last time I bought one was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a Chilean 1895 308. I didn't have any kind of anything, and I bought it on Sportsman's Guide for like $300, shipped to my door, ready to fire. But it was because it was 100 years old. So if you learn the firearms laws, then you can learn what you can get around, and then it makes it a lot easier to you know, kind of flip stuff. I mean, I probably could have bought that gun for $300 and flipped it for 400 or 500 just with the right wording and everything, the right salesmanship. But
So
you still can't sell that stuff on eBay.
they're changing the laws, and I can't remember if that was federally or if that was just Alabama, but they're changing it where if you have, because when you go to purchase any firearm, and Danica was there, I went to Walmart to buy a shotgun, and the lady put like one digit of my driver's license number, because my driver's license has 3 nines in it, and she left a 9 out. So at first glance, it's like, oh, it's blank 999, She left one out, and she's like, oh my gosh, it won't come. And then like the manager had to come over and all that. And Danica and John and Tristan were all in the parking lot, and they're like, since when does it take an hour to buy a shotgun? But supposedly, and that was actually the third gun that I bought that week, and we had bought Tristan's that week, and then we bought that High Point, and I had to go through the federal checkpoint, and I can't remember if it's Alabama or federally, but they're supposed to be getting rid of that where once you pass it, like that month or that whatever, you don't have to get run every single time. I think it was Alabama, and I can't remember. I just remember thinking, wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's the way it should be, kind of,
Yeah, I mean, there's no restrictions about buying as many guns as you want to, but they will
But
raise
it's the whole like,
eyebrows will be raised.
when you go to Cabela's is, I mean, it wasn't really the eyebrows, it was the time, and I know it sounds kind of petty, but like we went to Cabela's, and we're standing there, and they're like, okay, fill out all the information on the iPad. And it's like, okay, you already have your concealed carry license for Alabama, which is harder to get than anything. And then you're standing there on this little iPad thing, and you're filling out all the same crap all over again.
Mm-hmm.
First name, last name, middle initial, address, date of birth, mother's whatever, the hospital you were born at. I mean, have you ever been convicted of this, like 3 pages full of that crap. And then a week later, we bought Tristan her Ruger, and it was kind of like I had to do because I did it under my name, and it was all the same crap all over again. I'm like, why do I? And then you stand there and wait 30 minutes for them to get an answer back from the federal.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people who buy a lot of guns have complained about for years. Why can't you just get like a quick pass or something? It's like I have a license to buy a firearm, and I passed all of the government whatever, the hoops already. I can buy a gun. I don't need to go through the background check and do all that other crap. Or there's like some kind of quick check or just something, but there's nothing like that. That's more to make the people that don't have any idea about how all that stuff works feel better. Because if you try and have this conversation with somebody who hates guns and doesn't think that anybody should have guns, they are going to hate you immediately for even suggesting that anybody should be able to have an easier way to buy guns.
Holy cow, we just went from 52 watchers to 92 watchers. I'm just kidding, it went the other way. Sorry, Paul and I will totally do a whole entire show. The last time I pulled out a gun on a show, somebody's like, oh my gosh, and then like 4 other people were like, you should do a reseller show about guns, which I don't know how it's pertinent to resellers, I guess, because you like need to carry one for Craigslist meetups, or I don't know, but
hey, man,
I mean, it would be a good show.
I carry
it's
a gun
a
all the time.
fact of life, It's either you're comfortable with them or you're not comfortable with them. You love them or you hate them. So
yeah, I mean, they just don't bother me at all. And I see it's Colorado. Every once in a while, it's not that often. Maybe like once a year, I'll be eating at a restaurant or at a grocery store or something. I'll see somebody walking around with a gun on their hip, and it's like, wow, that's really weird.
I've seen that 3 times here in the last like 2 weeks. People just doing like blatant open carry, and I'm like, really? Why? I mean, because here's my whole thing. I mean, it's totally legal. Yeah, go ahead and open carry. But if somebody comes up, attacks me, robs the store or whatever, the guy with the gun on his hip is going to get shot first, probably, most likely. I would rather be the guy that was the element of surprise that had it concealed or,
yeah,
in my man bag or purse or whatever, so, on my hip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would have been a lot more argumentative about the whole subject years ago when I was like a gun nut, because I used to be pretty hardcore gun nut, survivalist. Well, not really hardcore survivalist, but like I was definitely a prepper though. If that makes sense. Just like learning. I had a blog for like 3 years where I talked about food storage and guns and all that other stuff. And I don't know. I just stopped caring about it because I don't think that it's very relevant. I mean, to be fair, no matter what, there's always, like, if you are constantly looking at the worst in things and, like, what could happen, and that's what you're focusing on, then your life's going to suck. It's going to suck. I mean, like, the heroes of the survivalist movement 5 years ago were dudes that were living off the grid in trailers and one-room cabins with, like, buckets full of sawdust for a bathroom and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, okay, there's a line somewhere. Maybe I'm just going to go way over there on that side of the line now because this isn't doing it for me anymore.
we watched that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio last night. What was the
Revenant?
Yeah, The Revenant, and it was like, wow, those are the days of the muzzle loaders or whatever. Like, I guess that was a French Indian War, I'm assuming, but yeah, they had muzzle loaders, and I was like, wow, you got to take the gunpowder out, pour it down there. He's pulling the beads or whatever, spitting them in his mouth and spitting them down there, and I'm like, yeah, it's like a one-shot thing, That's not like cock and go, and especially when the bear's on top of him, but that's a whole other subject, so. Danica.
I'm listening.
We used to have those same curtains.
What?
Yeah, I had that same curtain on my shower.
That is not a shower curtain. That is not a shower curtain. Those are my curtains.
I had that same shower in my men's room. Hey, that's so. No, we really did. No, I'm sorry, Mom. You're so wrong.
No. Bring it back around. Thrift
So,
All right,
Sue Stowen had a good point. How about instead of this, we talk about Nerf guns that we can sell on
Later,
eBay or
Thomas.
Amazon?
Nerf guns are good money. I mean, they are. How much do you sell Nerf guns, Jesse? I mean, I find them every once in a while for
I'm
nothing.
going to be honest, the last lot of them that I had, I flipped a bunch of stuff to another reseller, and I was like, oh, I picked up all these Nerf guns today, and I'm like, this, and we did a hangout and held them up, and I'm like, how much? And I paid $20, and he gave me like $40, and I was like, okay, cool, done.
Yeah.
Like, that's the extent of my Nerf gun crap.
Yeah. I mean,
Some of them are worth a lot of money, though.
Well, no, I mean, I know from watching other people, I forget to, like, look for them, I guess.
I mean, I look for the big ones, like the Vulcans and the ball shooters and, the rocket launchers. And I mean, they're always like $4 or $5 at Goodwill. And I just kind of pile them up in my storage unit. And when I get like 4 or 5 of them, then I'll just put them in one big lot for like $100. You pay a few bucks a piece, and then it ends up costing like $20, $30. It costs you $20 to ship. You sell it for like $100 plus $19.95 shipping. You double your money, whatever. It's pretty, and they sell quick. So I mean, I've never had issues with like Nerf guns sitting around for very long, but I do like those. And I don't even test them. Like, untested, as is, this is what you get. Because people buy them for parts, they want to, like, they want the case, or they just want them for, like, a costume, or,
Well, that's a good subject, because I have people all the time, well, oh my gosh, how do you test that? How do you whatever? I mean, I'm going to be totally honest, there's a lot of stuff that if it powers up, it came from an estate, it came from whatever. I mean, it's kind of condition is everything, that where it came from is everything, and there's a lot of different types of items that I just give a 30-day money-back guarantee. If it doesn't work, no big deal. I'll claim it. I mean, that to me is a whole lot less time than testing items that I don't know a whole lot about. You know what I mean?
All right, so a couple of weeks ago, I dug out my Jawbone, which is an old Bluetooth. This thing is freaking awesome. I love it, but it didn't have the little rubber piece. So I got on eBay, looked up the rubber pieces, and they were like $5 or $6. You know, I mean, obviously they're going to be kind of expensive. But then I found a lot of an old as-is Jawbone with an as-is Apple Bluetooth, like an old Apple from like 5 years ago or whatever. And it had the Jawbone had the rubber piece that I needed, and it was $8 with free shipping. So I bought it. It's like, whatever, I'll just sell the other two as is. I got the little rubber piece, works perfect with my Jawbone, fit right on. Unfortunately, I have really bad cauliflower ear from jiu-jitsu, so I can't like wear a Bluetooth with the little rubber piece. But yeah, I ended up selling the Apple Bluetooth for $20 with plus shipping. And this thing, I bought the charger for it because I found a charger for like $3 with free shipping from China. It's like, all right, I'll take a gamble. Let's do that. And it showed up, and it needs a battery or something. But I'll probably sell this for $10 or $15 as is. I mean, you don't have. It doesn't have to work. People will fix it. I sell like broken Xboxes and PS3s and stuff like that all the time when I just don't feel like fixing them. You know, I've actually haven't been doing it as much lately because I've been kind of collecting them too much, and you know, there's other stuff that I know will sell for more faster, so I focus on that stuff first. But
so apparently some people think we've gone off topic. I'm sorry if we've offended you. It's kind of follow wherever the audience wants to go. That's kind of how this show goes.
Well, somebody flounced earlier, so.
Well, okay, so if you're trying,
Flounced.
I'd be interested to find out how many people are watching the show right now. Well, actually, there's probably a bunch of resellers that are like, they want to have a link. No, they want to have a link to a show that they can send their brother-in-law who just lost his job, like a magic freaking bunch of information.
When in reality, it's about watching a lot of videos and watching the fluff like this and the bullcrap like this and listening to the whatever else. And you know, I may mention in the middle of it, well, hey, last week I did this and this didn't work out, or Paul mentions, you know, I bought some Jawbone pieces, did that. I mean, it's just picking up bits of information here and there. It's really reselling is a constant learning process. There's no ebook. There's no one show. There's no group of shows. It's just hanging around with like-minded people, watching like-minded videos, and trying to pick up what you can. You know.
Right. And
well, when I was thinking like last week and this week, the topic, it was like the first thing in my head was you need to go get another job. You know what I mean? Like you need to be looking for another job if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you lose your job. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I don't know what to tell people.
I know exactly what to tell people who have just lost their job and decided that they.
I mean, I know I can't tell them what they want to hear. Is what I mean. They want to hear, go buy this and sell it on eBay and you'll be fine. That's not the reality.
I feel like everybody should have an eBay account where they just dabble. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dave Ramsey will tell you want to get out of debt. Sell everything that isn't nailed down. Sell everything that isn't important.
Including the kids, and make them think they're next. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Then you rent out their room.
And by the time you get done selling all the stuff that you have collected, that's stuff that you know. And now, you know, if you decide you want to go to a garage sale on a Saturday and you see a garage sale full of stuff that it's like, wait a minute, I just sold that for like $30 and I want $1 for it. Sold. You know, I mean, you start seeing that stuff all the time. And then as you get a little better, you start going into Goodwill. You know, people like clothing sellers could do that all day, just walking down the clothing racks.
And somebody in the audience just asked, then why have this title of the show? I mean, we kind of covered it. If there's something you want to know, but I feel like the majority of the audience are people that are already experienced resellers. I mean, if there's a question, put it in the audience. We'll gladly answer it. But there's two different schools. Lost, like Paul said, lost my job. Oh shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I've never sold before on eBay, or people that have dabbled in it, which everybody kind of should, like you said, or people that have already dabbled in it. So, oh crap, lost my job. Not a big deal. I'll just ramp up my game.
Yes.
So I mean, outside of that, I mean, unless there's specific questions, it's a really tough because there's so many different scenarios. Everybody
You
wants
didn't ask anything.
Everybody wants to do a video about reselling, but at the end of the day, what do you want to know about? I'll tell you everything I know. I know about that subject. Paul will tell you everything he knows about that subject. The same with Danica. But there's so many different scenarios. Joe Blow quitting his job over here that got kicked off eBay 2 years ago, doesn't have an account anymore. That's a totally different scenario than this guy over here or this guy over here that's been doing eBay for 3 years. It's tough.
Yeah, and then you get the guys that they decide that they want to start doing eBay. They're in trouble. They need to start making some money. They want to make it a business, so they watch a bunch of reselling videos, and they think that they've got it figured out, and then they just dive in with employees in a warehouse, and they're picking, and they're doing all this, and they don't know what they have. They don't know what kind of problems that you have to deal with, and they don't really foresee, or they don't know what to foresee, and they don't kind of know what customers are going to be complaining about and what kind of stuff is going to sink their account, and next thing you know, they're out of business. There are YouTubers that have done exactly what we're talking about right now. It's like, hey guys, I'm just decided that I'm going to do eBay full time and I'm going to make this a business, and I've never done it before, but I've watched a bunch of videos. Who's that guy? One of Rakin's guys. I don't remember his name, but he happened to him. He tried to do eBay and he got shut down after a few months because, just tried to push out a bunch of crap and didn't know how to list stuff, didn't know how to describe stuff, didn't know how to manage customer expectations. So, I mean, before you jump into this full bore, you should understand all of those things. You should know, like, what kind. Okay, so if I'm selling a copy of Minecraft, for example, I know exactly what to mention in the ad to make sure that the person who receives it is going to be happy. Like this one. Or complete with original artwork. In the original case, the disc has some very minor scratches. That's it. That's all I have to do. And you'll receive what's pictured, and knowing how to take the correct pictures makes a big difference too. But I mean, I feel like with stuff like this, one of the reasons that video games are so competitive and it's so hard to find like giant lots of video games like it was like 5 years ago. God, you go to a garage sale and there'd be a box of video games sitting there. Now they get picked right away because they're so easy, But I mean, if you're doing
this Fox Alive guy, he said he's on the road a lot, which I saw that, and I thought you made a comment that you shipped from your cell phone because that's how it read to me. Anyways, he wants to know, is listing from a cell phone doable and ship things off while on the road? Depends on what you're selling. Number one, how big is it? How much space do you have to carry this crap with you, if you're on the road a lot? Yes, you can list straight from a cell phone, but you have to print postage, so you're going to have to find somewhere to print postage from. But you can do that at a library. You can print it off and then tape it on a box or an envelope or whatever. If you're doing that, you need to go small.
I think it's totally doable. As a matter of fact, I admitted the error of my ways, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I took some pictures last week playing around with slides for my iPhone. I loved it. As far as doing the whole listing, I'm not that good with my thumbs, and I use a lot of cut and paste descriptions. That part would be a pain in the butt. But, I mean, our ultimate goal, Tristan and I, is to travel and sell at the same time and try to figure out how to make that happen.
Most of my eBay inventory is in a walk-in closet that's like probably
I think you totally could.
8 by 10 or 6 by 5 by 10, maybe something like that. I mean, I don't know if I could lay down. I think if I laid down on it with my head touching the far wall, my feet would be sticking out of the door. And that's where my eBay inventory is. But I sell a lot of small stuff, you know. I mean, this doesn't take up a lot of space. Books don't take up a lot of space. Blu-rays, not a lot of space. Little, like, remotes, you know. I mean, these are totally stupid. People will be like, remote controls, really? But you find these all the time for 50 cents or $1 at thrift stores, and they sell some of them $10, $15, $100 for some. You know, I mean, I sold one. I had this Yamaha remote. I sold it like twice on Amazon for $75, and it kept getting sent back. And it worked fine. I would get it back, test it again. It still worked. Eventually, it sold, but I paid $1 for it. So big deal. I had to refund a couple of people before somebody decided that that's actually what they needed.
How do you test what? The remotes?
Is somebody asking how to test remotes?
It just says, how do you test those? But their chat's going so fast, I assume they're talking about remotes.
Oh, it's got to be remotes. So basically, all you do, like, I obviously have a webcam, but if you have a webcam, just turn it on so that you're watching yourself. And then, like this one, let's see here. Right now, no batteries in it. As you can see, hitting the buttons, nada. Let's see if any of these batteries are. I think these batteries are good. And if anybody has a Panasonic device in the background, sorry if it suddenly turns off or on. But you just put your batteries in, and you can see it. There you go. So it's got an IR sensor, and webcams pick that up. So when you push the button, just make sure you push every single button. And there are a couple buttons on here that won't register the IR. It'll be different. But yeah, just go through and make sure that all the buttons work.
You can do it with the camera on your phone too, right?
Probably. Yeah, just do a selfie and shoot it at your phone.
Yeah, just have it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Let me see. I'll do it right now. I've never done it.
Yeah, you can put whatever you want for postage.
No, you can't. Not on eBay anymore. There are so many. It's annoying because there are a lot of restrictions now on what you can charge for postage in certain categories.
No, but I mean, he can charge what he's going to get charged at the post office.
No.
What?
Like, I'll try and list a month. I keep running into this. You know, I'll be selling 10 video games, and they're gonna end up weighing like 3 pounds. So I put $9.95 on postage, and it'll say the max you can charge in this category is $6 or something like that.
Oh, I haven't hit that.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm trying to sell in single categories. Okay, let's see if this works.
Video game category?
It works. Yeah, DVDs, Blu-rays. So just put your cell phone in selfie mode, and just point the remote at the cell phone, and it works. That's all you have to do to test the remote.
I haven't run. Well, I just set it for the whatever the calculated or whatever.
Yeah, if you set it to calculated, then you don't have to worry about that. Just put your weight and your measurements in. But I guesstimate everything because I cannot be bothered. I don't want to charge calculated shipping and think, okay, this is going to be like 12 pounds and 22 by 16 by 16, and then it ends up being 8 pounds and 20 by 12 by 12, and that drops the price from $30 to $12 because that happens all the time.
See, Tristan, he's here. He said, "What you need, girl?"
What?
Tristan said, "Where's John when she needs him?"
Do you have my coffee ready? Is she talking to me?
I'll be right back.
She's talking to John.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm bidding on the last 755, the last 4 minutes of a local online auction that I went and previewed, and there's some sterling silver in there that no one caught because it was in the basement in a certain lot number, and it's about $1,000 worth of sterling silver flatware. just kind of my guesstimation, about $1,000 worth. And I got the current bid at $130, but it ends in 4 minutes. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal to me. Sorry, because that'd make it for an awesome video, and I will totally YouTube it. I totally will. You'll see me like running, and the pickup tomorrow's like 10 o'clock, and I'll be like running up to the thing, and I'll be like, yeah. Like, I already told Tristan, I said, you're going with me when they open if I win it, because I am going to totally just, like, that's the first item out of all the ones we win that we're going to grab, and you're going to put it in the car, and you're going to guard it. So that's pretty awesome.
Did you see Jeff Davidson? He said post the link, they'll watch it for you.
I actually did a video all week this week. I kind of added to this and that and the other, and I started to upload it, and all of a sudden I was like, crap, I showed myself previewing that auction, and I really don't want to show that because I know I have some people that watch me locally. And well, that's kind of bad business. No offense, but I'm not going to share everything, so I guess it makes me a bad guy.
Yeah, so that's him up a couple, Johnny B.
Did you guys see the thing that Jim Emperor of Fun, or Jim Bennett, posted?
Jim Bennett, the Emperor of Fun?
Yeah, he was talking about some dude that has like 2,500 active eBay listings, but he goes days without sales because he's thinking that eBay's out to get him.
Well, Jim said he looked at his listings and said the guy's overpriced.
Yeah, that you can have the most awesome stuff in the world, but if it's overpriced, every once in a while, maybe you'll get that sale. Mm-hmm. It'll make you feel good, but, I mean, are you trying to make enough sales to stay in business? Then you better stay in the market.
Okay, I want both of you, because it's almost 8 o'clock, so...
No.
Shut up!
No.
If both of you could give a little sum up of, so that we stay on topic, give a little sum up of what you would tell somebody if they just lost their job or whatever. Like, what quick advice would you give them?
Do you want to do this first, Dustin?
My biggest thing, and I'll handle it first because I'm seriously got 2 minutes left on some of these auctions. It depends on where you're at right now. If you are kind of in fear of losing your job, or you want to quit your job or whatever, build your eBay up, build your Amazon up, learn the ropes to where you're making $300 or $400 a week or whatever, $200 or $300 a week. You know the rules. You don't have limitations on your listing. You don't have limitations on them holding your funds. And then once you're at that point, if you lose your job or if whatever happens, the shit hits the fan, whatever, you're good to go because you've already learned the ropes, and you can just, all you really got to do is just list more. You can easily move right into it. It's kind of like, I want to own my own restaurant. Okay, then go manage a restaurant. Go manage a restaurant, become the general manager, and then when you lose your general manager job, you already know everything about the restaurant business, and boom, you can move right into it. I mean, that's actually a bad analogy, so ignore that. I mean, but it's kind of similar.
It's not a bad analogy. That's
not a bad analogy at all.
People assume, oh, you sell crap on eBay. That's the easiest, crappiest, most lazy job ever. It's not. I mean, there's so much you have to know, and otherwise you can lose your account at any time, or people just won't buy your stuff. Either one of those two things happens. I mean, you can be an okay eBay seller, you can be a great eBay seller. I feel like I'm above okay, but I'm definitely not great. I mean, I know what it takes to be great, and I just don't. I'm too lazy. I'm super lazy. I like to go out and eat. I like to train BJJ. I like to take my girlfriend out. I like to hang out with my daughter, that's why I do this, so that I have plenty of time to do all of the things that I want to do. And, there are times, though, where it's like crunch time. This is what I'm doing right now. And, I made $1,000 this weekend, just because I busted my ass and turned it up. And I can do that anytime. And it's kind of dangerous. I do fall into the trap where, that I let my business go until crunch time comes around, and it's like I know what I need to do, and maybe I feel like maybe I just assume too much that I know what I need to do until it's time to make it happen, and sometimes it gets me in trouble. But I mean, if you're starting out and you have no idea what you're doing and you've never done this before, it's not as easy as just taking a picture of something, putting a couple measurements up or whatever. I mean, there are a lot of things that go into it, and I feel like if you're desperate, it's not the time to start.
Mm-hmm.
If you're desperate and you know what you're doing, then it can pull you out of a rut. It can save you, whatever. But I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, then it's not going to be your savior.
It's a learned business. I mean, could. I mean, we've done that before. We've pulled ourselves up by the bootstraps and whatever. But in hindsight, we also had several years of eBay before. I mean, if you're good at doing research, if you're good at looking at a freaking phone and looking at completeds and looking at solds and doing the comparison between 1,000 completed and 900 sold, that's a 90% sell-through rate, and the average price down the middle of the page is this, and here's what they want at the yard sale. If you're a numbers person like that, then it's totally, and then you retain that item for the next time around, then it's not a terribly hard business, but it's a lot of learning. I mean, I still learn. I've been doing it since 1998, and it's here now, like 18 years later. Wow, I sound like one of those old guys from like the antique store or something.
You've probably forgotten more than you know.
Yeah, but seriously, but like tonight I was researching certain model typewriter. I'm like, I know antique typewriters that's actually in this auction I'm looking at right now. But, that I just got an email on. That's why I mentioned it, because I'm doing 3 things at one time. But, and I'm like, I know antique typewriters, but I don't know this particular brand. Should I do some research? And so I just went over to eBay and looked it up, and it wasn't terribly hard,
They're waiting to see if you won any of the auctions, Dusty.
I have won so far. Let me tell you. Hang on. Bid was successfully placed on lot 2749. Hang on. I have won. Oh my gosh! It's one of these that extends every 5 minutes if a bid is placed in the last 5 minutes. So I have won. Okay, those are still going. I have won. Items won. Hang on, because this same auction company actually puts all of them together. I won a Victor vintage calculator adding machine for $15. I won a vintage calculator / adding machine that I can't remember the brand, but it's somewhere in the video that I'm eventually going to post for $15. I won a lot of slide rules, book holders, appetizer forks, coasters, lighthouse figurines, fabric, wooden bookend, magnifying glasses, Yahtzee cups, and Thai silk for $35. I won a lot of belt buckles, which has me really stoked because they're all actually in the little kind of like jewelry cases, but the little hard cases. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Some of them were Harley, some of them were other stuff. There's 11 of them. I got that for $45. I won an antique hand drill for $15. I won an old wooden plane, which the brand Sargent. And I looked it up because I didn't know anything about Sargent brand planes. I won it for $20. It could potentially be a $100 plane. And, the rest of it is actually still going. So I've won those so far. Add that up because I really don't want to know because I'm going to have to pay for it tomorrow morning.
Paul, look at the side chat.
I'm ignoring it because I'm busy.
Oh, me and Scott are going to be doing a little bit of retail arbitrage. Is it this week? Oh my God, next week, Wednesday or Thursday?
He said pick one of the days.
All right.
I just didn't want you to miss it.
Yeah, it'll probably be Thursday. Wednesday is.
Here you go. Question: what does the panel think about rolling blackouts on eBay?
Rolling blackouts come when people get lazy. Like I'm in the middle. This weekend was awesome for me. I did a lot of really big sales, a lot of volume. Like it did really well today. I did like $20 because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I spent all day listing. And the last couple of days, I have not done shit on eBay except ship. I mean, and relist items. So, I mean, you have to keep listing. That's another thing that I'm going to tell, or that I'd like people who are just getting into this to know. It's really important to constantly just put up new content because your store will stagnate. I mean, there's nothing that'll get traffic to your store like just listing. You have to list. Unless you just, I don't know. Back in like years ago, when I first got into this, I would post all of my listings up because I was doing like, I'd post all my Magic card listings in Magic forums where I had 10,000 posts. Everybody knew me. I was a established member, so I was allowed to post. I was trusted. I had a decent feedback on my eBay account, so I could post to these auctions, and then it's like basically feeding my listings directly to people with no competition who are looking for these items. And as long as you price them at the market value, then they would sell. Or Warhammer miniatures, same thing. BattleTech miniatures, same thing. So I mean, if you have put in the work to do all that, then that goes back to more of selling what you know and kind of knowing like the people that you're selling to, I guess. But selling what you know is very important at first.
I did win the sleeper set of Sterling Silver flatware, and I won it for, I'm going to estimate there's probably 45, 50 pieces there. I won it for $525.
Yep.
But I've already kind of done the math on that, and I know what's there. I know what the average piece of sterling flatware weighs. Knives weigh a little more, but they also have stainless steel blades. There were serving pieces in the bottom in this case. The serving pieces will.
So you could be looking at $2 or $3 grand.
No, I don't think that much. But I mean, worst case, I think it's $1,000 worth of stuff. So, and very quick flip.
That's like spot.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I mean, anytime you're buying precious metals under spot, you can sell it at spot.
But I think I'm kind of at spot right now. I think when I'm more of banking, I mean, I'm a little below spot price. I think what I'm more banking on is the fact that it's name brand, like Reed and Barton, or one of the other big brands out there that that it's more that, and that it has spot silver price, silver value for people who know what spot is, but also a whole set of matching pattern silver on top of that.
That will make it double spot.
Which will make it, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of, I went and I did my math on it. I kind of thought on it and have slept on it, trust me, for like 4 days now. And yeah. It's kind of a crapshoot.
So Thrift Daddy wants to know the maker and pattern.
That one I don't remember. It was actually in my video that I haven't posted yet. I could have gone back and watched it on my phone and probably figured it out. It wasn't I don't think it was Reed and Barton. It was probably oh crap, what's the frickin' Sterling company that made it for everybody for 100 years? Rogers. Rogers, it was J.B. Rogers and Sons, Rogers and Sons, and then International Silver bought them up and all that. I'm pretty sure it was Rogers, if I remember correctly, but I do remember the pattern all matched. So it wasn't Tiffany. I mean, if it was Tiffany, I'd have been all over it. Huh?
Michael Oliver, will you take it to a jeweler or eBay?
No, I won't even mess with a jeweler. It'll go straight to eBay.
Yeah,
because I know enough about how silver is so easy. Silver is so easy to figure out. I mean, literally, you just have to have a scale like this, or I have a jewelry scale, or whatever else. There are so many great calculators out there, like silverrecyclers.com, kitco.com, If something is sterling, it's 925, which is 92.5% pure silver. You literally just put that in, what percent it is. You put in the weight of your item in X amount of grams, and it spits out based on the current market value today of, I don't know what it's, $16.50 an ounce of silver. Here's what you actually have on melted value.
Gotcha.
And it's just really actually easy, except when you get into knives and stuff. Like I said, because knives tend to be more. There's more stainless steel in the blade of them.
You have to go by kind of like, you have to get online and figure out what the average weights are typically. I mean, a knife is a knife. They're kind of the same size.
But knives are usually stainless steel. They're usually stainless steel blade, but they're usually hollow on the handle. You know, they're big, fat, whatever. That's not solid stainless steel. That's hollow. Trust me, it's hollow. And that blade runs down into it some way. So
and
you've got that
silver,
whole kind
the
of,
same thing.
You've got,
hollow handle. But I mean, typically they're pretty close to the same weight. So if you have an idea, I mean, spot silver is low enough where you can make a pretty good estimation, like where you have faith in how much at least it's going to sell for if you just scrap it all.
So I won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 auctions at this point, which 8 of them are like typewriters, and there's actually one of them that's miscellaneous silver and silver plated items, which I looked at. So 8 of them are kind of miscellaneous things. One of them is actually the utensil set. They called it a utensil set. It's actually like utensil set. It's like 50 pieces of solid sterling flatware. It was a bad picture and whatever else. And then still ending, because it got extended another 5 minutes, is some collector spoons, which are hit or miss because I didn't dig around the box long enough. They're pretty much from the 60s, 70s, 80s. They're typically worth like maybe $1 a piece if you lot them up. But I didn't dig far enough in the box to see if there was any sterling in there. And there may be. So it's kind of like, do I want to bid $100 on 100 collector spoons, taking a chance that there's some, but I'll either break even or there's some sterling in there. So it's kind of like no risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, $500 is always a risk, kind of, but not if it's
not when it's calculated and you know there's a ton of silver there. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
Not when it's precious metals, because you know exactly what the melt price is worth, and there's always going to be somebody that's willing to pay the melt price, and the melt price is just going up right now, right? I mean, it might be fluctuating. You know, it's $16.50 today, it's $16.25 tomorrow, it's $16.75 the next day. So I mean, silver and gold, if you're keeping it at the kind of price or the spot value, then yeah, you don't have anything to worry about. But I mean, if it's something cool like what you're saying, you know, a full set of flatware.
Well, I plan on doing a YouTube video on it. What I'm thinking is I'm going to take I have a portable scale, and then I also have, which you can't really fit flatware on that, but I have a little like jewelry scale. The only problem with that is if you try to set a fork on there, you really can't get it to balance unless you kind of do it sideways. But I have a bigger platform scale, and I really honestly want to do like a live video, me going and getting it, showing the bid sheet, showing what I got it for, and then kind of pulling around the corner, showing it in the trunk of the car, and here's what it weighs.
So if you need to weigh,
I mean, I'll lose my butt. I know that, but
well, if you need to weigh out a fork or something on a scale like that, then just get like a little plastic plate
and put it on there, tear it out.
And then tear it out, yeah.
Right.
And then put the fork on there.
Which I'm surprised the lid on this doesn't come off to work as a plate to tear stuff out.
That would make it really easy. But
cheap Chinese crap.
Right. Yeah, I actually found my box of, I took it upstairs. My box of jewelry in my storage unit. I was kind of excited. My box of jewelry and my voodoo codes. Those were the two things. I've got like a giant box of movie codes that I trade and sell, and yeah.
Uphone wants to know how you pay estimated 2016 taxes using an EIN.
Huh?
He said it's asking him for a form. I have no idea.
Get a hold of accountants are cheaper than you think they are. That's all I got on that one. Like
I don't mess.
estimated to pay like quarterly in 2016 based on an EIN. Lost me a little bit on that one.
All right. So we will we won't be here next week. We're not going to be here the week after. So it's going to be, you've got 2 weeks. And then we're going to do the giveaway show. And Sue wants us to do an episode on things to get, like at the baby and mom sales that you see constantly. Is there anything worth buying at those for reselling? So
I've got some.
No, save it.
I'll save it.
I'm gonna go ahead and create the show so that we don't forget, so that we have the topic.
Thrift Daddy wanted me to show off the jewelry. Not today, but next episode.
Okay, so you're gonna
There's
have to
nothing
rewatch all the old episodes, Toronto.
There's nothing special in my jewelry collection. I mean, literally, it's like a few rings, and most of the time I just scrap it.
Or talk Paul into doing more morning shows.
I'm doing one Wednesday. There's a very good chance that I will have Kyle, Craigslist
Yard sale hunter.
Yard sale hunter, yeah.
The world's youngest dude. That kid's got a future ahead of him. I'm not saying
like
don't. I'm
16
not
years
saying.
old.
I'm not saying don't go to college, but you've got like.
I don't
Do
think college
this
is necessary
while you're in
anymore.
college.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in college, but that's a whole nother show. If I was him, I'd be like running with it. Like you're making money and you're still in high school.
This kid's, yeah, the stuff that
Take
he's,
that knowledge and build on it.
yeah.
So
Kyle Hunter, yard sale hunter. Hopefully, I don't know, but he said he's got the week off, so maybe he can make time in his busy schedule to do a quick show with me one of these mornings. We'll see, but hopefully y'all will be here too.
So Wednesday morning, reseller wake up.
I'm going for Wednesday.
Dusty, do you guys have? Are you and Brock doing anything this week?
I think I told him I couldn't do tomorrow because tomorrow's Gabriel's 15th birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Tuesday.
Gabe!
Is that your Minecraft kid?
Dude, he's like my gamer boy. Like all the last minute crap that I forgot at the last minute. I was on Amazon tonight paying like $3.99 extra for overnighting. I'm like, oh, you wanted that video game? Forgot about that. Oh, you wanted that Microsoft gift card for Xbox One? Oh crap, forgot about that.
You could
Yeah,
have just got him a download code for cheaper.
Yeah.
No, he wanted like Season Pass Black Ops 3, and it's, trust me, I searched, it's not out there. It's $50 on Microsoft.com, so you just.
Could have got it at G2A.
I checked G2A, and all they had was Black Ops 2. Trust me.
Okay, so long story short, are you and Brock doing a show?
So I think it's looking like it's going to be potentially Thursday.
Okay, so
Ask Brock if he wants to come on Wednesday.
What was Wednesday again? The
My
morning
show.
thing
Yeah,
morning.
with Kyle.
I'll
He's
hit
not
him
a
up.
Don't listen.
He's kind of no. He's like Abby takes care of the kids whenever. He's like a late night person.
Oh, okay.
And I
He's
think
one of
he
those
kinda
guys
sleeps
that.
in. Yeah. He's totally nocturnal. But I'll ask him though.
I kind of wish that I was like that because I would drink a lot less if I did all my work at night because I don't feel
No,
like
you-
drinking until like 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock rolls around, it's time for a freaking beer. But then I fall asleep at 9, wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, start working again, and I feel like I would get more work done because I would just work until I was sick of working if I was working at the end of the night. But if starting in the morning, it's like, what can I get done before I have to start doing crap in my day? You know, I got to take my kid to school. I got to, cook breakfast. I got go to jiu-jitsu, you know, and then once I'm out for jiu-jitsu, then I've got all this other stuff that I could be doing, you know. It's like, oh, I can't drive past that thrift store without stopping. Can't drive past that thrift store without stopping. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, well, I was going to be gone for an hour. It's been 4. It's almost time for a beer, too. Yeah, wasted my day. Yeah.
Okay. That's it for us tonight, guys. If you have questions or anybody watching the replay has questions, you can put them in the comments and we'll answer them. But yeah, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Well, we're not having a show for 2 weeks, and we'll see you the 3rd week. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Bye.